This is Jared Rand. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Friday, May 2, 2025 after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We'll be having Reverse Aging Health Call and all the rest tonight after 9:15 p.m. Eastern. We're going to talk about the genetic code. Where's it at? The original blueprint of these bodies before they were all hacked and turned into Heinz 57, so to speak. When you want your life to be smoother, fuller, more in touch with utter bliss, get in touch with your eternal essence. Let go of any limiting thoughts that you have and drop into the knowingness that you are an infinite soul who will never die. When you crave for some secure life that is easy and light, give that experience to yourself on the inner world within first, and find out how to soothe yourself emotionally, giving deep, robust, tingling sensations to every corner of your body, mind, and spirit. This great experience of divinity is always available and ready to take us into higher dimensions. Our greatest life is ready for us here now. So open yourself up and welcome it in. You will find the infinite within the finite. Trust the process. Breathe it in. Enjoy every breath you are given. Meditation is a listening with a receptive heart. Buddha. Ask yourself, how much quiet time do you spend with yourself, let's just say, on a weekly basis? Or is this you in silence? It would be interesting to see what answer you give yourself. And since we're all, the gods that we are all one, reflecting one another throughout eternity. It's like a soup of pure consciousness, and we're all in the soup of pure consciousness. We get the opportunity to be in a, what appears to be an external, or like I say, material, physical life in these bodies. And this is why we are everything, and everything is us. No matter how it appears. And we all are in a highly diverse, intelligent, energetic field. And the field contains everything. There isn't anything it doesn't contain. It's pretty entertaining. I mean, if you wanted to have a blank material physical life, it probably would get real boring. Nothing to look at really. It was just blankness. And then you begin to realize why we create what we create. And how things are put together. So pretty much everything blends. It operates in harmony without us really having to do anything. We're kind of like the glue, right? Order and structure and many other things. If we were to just disappear, all on the surface of this planet, all of us as the human civilization, this species, and it just disappeared. All the cities, all the towns and states, and everything in our country disappeared. There was no one. And not only here, but the entire planet. What do you think would happen? Right? What do you think would take place? What do you believe would take place? Things wouldn't stay together. Grasses would start growing up, and vines and trees, and I mean in the cities and in the towns and the states, you'd see the growth would take over everything, like you see with some of the structures that are just completely obscured by vegetation, that are thousands of years old. Why is that? Why is it that doesn't happen when we're all here? When, we have our dwellings, and, some of us work in buildings and, cities and towns. But none of that happens. No overgrowth or taking over the buildings and the grounds. And why is that? Because we bring a structure. Well, doesn't Mother Nature do that? There is an order in all things. There's a finite order in all things. There is a connection with all life. Different forms, as we've experienced just on this little planet, different forms of life, different physical vessels. We look at the fact that, only lower consciousness goes into, like, say, a bear or a gorilla or a mouse or a bug. But that's not really true. Our whole direction is experiencing in this life, material physical life, and cherishing every moment that we are in these vessels, and not taking anything, absolutely nothing, for granted. Feeling deeply grateful for your existence in every waking moment. And we're all on, you cannot see, you might use these words, lost, confused, not lost my way, I'm not on the path. But that's also not true. We are all on the path. We're not going to leave the path. It's our path. Each of us is experiencing different things along the way. So it's not something that will not be. Is it the same path? It is the same path, but different perspectives. Different viewpoints. And when it all boils down to it anyway, we're going to drop this amnesia, okay? All of us are going to drop it. It's not going to exist anymore. Amnesia is going to be gone. What else does that mean? And see, our bodies are tricked out, you kind of say. They're not what they were supposed to be. We've dealt with many DNA sequencing, genetic manipulation from off-worlders for a long time. Tremendous violation of the Prime Directive. Tremendous, absolutely disregard for the Prime Directive. You leave a species alone. You don't intervene with it. You allow it to naturally develop on its own, period. Did they do that with us? No. We were like rats in cages. And all they've been ever doing is experimenting with us and on us. And the push, I guarantee you this, is that here's the big, and I've shared this before, is that the lower dark matter frequencies, survival matter frequencies, will do anything they can to stop us from really and truly discovering who and what we are. Say, well, why is that? They will no longer exist. And is that what's happening? Yeah, that's what's happening. Are we ever going to find out the codus of our genetics? How we were truly designed to be? Because right now, we're like a shadow of what we were designed to be. Okay? And I mean the body. Some of us get a little tinge of it on occasion. You know, we look at it, let's put it that way. There are so many things with these bodies that have been tampered with. We don't know it. For tens of thousands of years, it's a continual process of being tampered with. And then on top of it, we have no recollection of anything. And this is what I'm talking about, because the codes are locked away. And the interesting thing is that our vibrational frequency is increasing exponentially. And by doing that, that activates our originality, our authenticity with these bodies. So then many things begin to reveal themselves. Imagine that you begin to start remembering. First, it will be like this. It'll be like you will, because it'll be so foreign to you, you'll go, oh, this ego mind getting carried away again. You know. When in actuality, it's what you did in other bodies. Okay? That's the simplest way to put it. What each of us have done in other bodies. How long did we live in those bodies? What did we do? What did we learn? What didn't we learn? What did we experience? And this stuff will start just seeping in. Now, it won't be, lickety split, because emotionality of these bodies would have a very difficult time. Very, very difficult time. We're meant to know everything that there is to know about ourselves. Completely. And right now, in this very moment, this very now moment, we don't. We'll give it a shot here and there, and we discover certain things. But I'm talking about full timing it. And these are deep commitments. I mean, really, truly deep commitments from every one of us, based upon what is it that we are seeking. We are seeking the God within us, but at the same time, we're a little fooled or a lot fooled by seeking outside of us. Because remember, what you are, who you are, and how you are with yourself is what it affects everyone around you.
So if you're in a high vibrational frequency and you're consistent with it, it's going to affect everybody around you. People aren't going to forget. Okay? Your life, it'll be kind of like reversed. Your life memory will start becoming front and center. And at first you'll blow it off because you'll think it's just, crazy thoughts. But then you'll start getting that feeling of familiarity. And it'll dawn on you to go that this is a past life of mine. Because we are not going to continually stay in this amnesia condition. We're not going to stay there. Oh yeah, we've stayed there for a long time. But it is now transitioning from higher vibrational frequencies. You begin to discover you burn through the control mechanisms. You burn through them because of your authenticity. Your authenticity is that you are God in that body. You are pure consciousness. You're the kingdom of God. You're the heaven. You're all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. There's no debating that. You're omnipotently powerful, supreme, manifesting, abundant being that never dies. And eventually, the people of this planet will embrace that. They'll embrace it through heart-mindedness. They won't embrace it through ego-mind. It'll be through heart-mindedness. And this whole planetary population is going to shift in a whole different way of enjoying life. A completely brand new way of enjoying material physical life. Nothing like it is now. You can't compare it. Well, you can compare it to just differentiate where you say, wow, this is huge. This is, you can't, there's nothing in the third dimensional frequencies that can come close to this. And as we bring ourselves into fifth dimensional frequencies, then everything starts to go through a metamorphosis. We're not, we're letting go. We're releasing. We're surrendering the old habits and the old ways that we have been mired in for tens of thousands, millions, and beyond in years. It's like whenever we discover a larger, more profound truth in life, a little miracle happens. Everything that once felt hard, heavy, and stuck inside us suddenly becomes exalted and liberated. We feel lighter than air and are filled with the natural spontaneous joy inside, which flows as freely as the wind. The mind stops thinking, and we experience our own source of consciousness. And from there, we see life from a much more expanded perspective. And it can happen within milliseconds. And I use a lot of wording to emphasize things for myself. That which is real cannot be threatened, and that which is unreal does not exist. Now, for some, that might take a while. Came out of Course in Miracles. See, Course in Miracles was, it was not put together by a earthling. I'll put it that way. It was put together by off-worlders who then introduced it to this civilization. And it may take us many months to spiritually digest this enormous truth, rooted throughout our lives. The more we sit with it, the deeper it transforms our entire way of viewing ourselves, others, and this world. That which is real cannot be threatened. Think about this. What is it that feels threatened inside of you? What is this personality, self, ego, excuse me, or that thing you call you, which defends itself when feeling attacked or provoked? What is this little you who has a need to be on guard and protect itself, trying to assert itself and attempting to achieve something important or worthwhile with their life? And then, who is this overly strong, confident, all-important you who compensates for the super small, unimportant you? It's the one who has been attempting to make your life secure by feeling self-important and accomplished, met in deep embrace by their beloved, and all the while is feeling a deep and constant separation from God. And the good news is that in all this, is that we truly are, who we truly are has nothing to do with who and what we think we are. Zero. And whatever we may think of and conceive of about ourselves with the mind can only be a thought. And this little thought is too small to be who or what we are. Who and what we really are is beyond any spiritual understanding of the mind. In this moment, and only this moment, we can find what is actually real. And this real thing is the only thing that liberates us and binds us at the same time. That which is real, the real you, does not change. And this essence is what remains the same for all eternity. And when you really, really take a look at it, just like this meditation, you find a comfortable place. You make sure you have no outside interference. You relax into your body. You're as still as a statue, and you focus on your breath rising and falling. And maybe you have discovered this. Some have, some are, some are in the process, others will. Is that this understanding, this comprehension, how all identification with the ego is based in some form of fear. Clinging to some thought or a process of thoughts which believes deep down that it is not one with the divine. It thinks it's not loved, accepted, embraced, or enlightened. You see how this happens? Well, someone might say, well, maybe it's the influence when the child was being raised by the parents. Right? No, we all have it. So we all have it. The ego is clinging to some thought or a process of thoughts which believes deep down that it is not one with the divine. It thinks it's not loved, accepted, embraced, or enlightened. There's a lot of people, for no reason, have a low self-esteem. They had good bringing up, they had loving parents and friends. They have a low self-esteem. This is why creativity on this planet is going to become paramount, and I believe at a much higher level that the majority of the population will start embracing it. The more creative we become, the more godly we become. And when our creativity comes to a climax, and when each moment of our life is filled with creativity, we live in God. Osho. And being enlightened, enlightenment is simply realizing again and again and again how to remain non-identified with one's ego. And the enlightened state is a pure seeing, understanding how the ego is the greatest illusion of them all. To ultimately know and become identified with the real self, that which cannot be threatened, the God within us, the pure consciousness. It is the only true path to total freedom there is. All other paths lead to some form of suffering. It requires no basic standard of ethics, codes, or spirituality, or religious background needed to arrive. We simply experience ourselves as the essence of consciousness that we naturally are. And the ego, who we think we are, has some truth to it. Yet it's just not a very big truth. It's a smaller truth which only castrates our ability to expand into love, trust, and a feeling of oneness. Ego is a fear-based program that is based in the opposite experience of trust. And whenever we are living in trust 24 hours a day, we start accessing all the wisdom and all the knowledge throughout all the universes, in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. Throughout history, all the enlightened beings throughout existence and beyond. And whenever we're living in trust 24 hours a day, we start accessing all the wisdom and knowledge of all of this. The whole thing. We find our real true selves, and we know that we are the real masters of our destiny. When we know our real nature, we can allow life to play its ego, personality role through us, somehow not get in the way. We can sit back, go with the flow, enjoy the ride. We can remain fascinated by life, learning how we are here to serve others, take care of our bodies, and simply let the all-intelligent life force move through us. And this state of perpetual enjoyment of life is real mastery. When we remain free from all forms of ego identification, we cannot help but to enjoy all aspects of life. We allow greater love to always guide our course, help us live with ease and grace in every way. See, we got this. It is a divine orchestra of spiritual energy and consciousness happening all around us, all of the time. We just aren't always aware of it because our minds are so distracted and busy with those all too important things of this physical world. It's only when everything stops from some seemingly random event that we are thrown back to our real selves and can see, feel, and taste the bigger picture. In a few brief moments, the mind drops its game and we understand, we comprehend how divinely perfect everything is. All of us are here to let go of everything and find our real connection to the divine again. We've been learning major life lessons after major life lessons after major life lessons, tilling the hard, tough inner soil inside of us, just so that one day our soul could find some higher enlightened state of being. We were born to find some way home to ourselves. See, going home, finding your way home, means that you're discovering the God that you are. That's home. And so our mind is always free from all fear, resistance, stagnation, separation. The enlightened mindset just happens when we return to the pure source of awareness that is behind the mind. And when we discover the awareness behind every thought that we're thinking, we come closer to the most sacred intelligence in this universe. This is who you truly are. And what stops us on, what stops us on all this stuff? The mind stops us dead in our tracks. When you wake up in the morning, where is your mind? Where is it? I could take a guess and say that your mind is already into the next day, or the next month, or the next year. We're all moving, okay? We are returning to the pure source of awareness. When you remove the mind, or the mind steps aside, when you discover the awareness behind every thought that you're thinking, you come closer to the most sacred intelligence in this universe. This is who we truly are. We're the ones behind the consciousness. We're the ones molding and designing and figuring and moving all the time. Now, if we chose to just be like a bunch of bumps on a log, this whole lifetime, man, I tell you, it would be a real boring trip. The next time you're in front of a mirror, and here's the challenge, look non-judgmentally into the mirror. Most people won't even look in the mirror. They won't even look at themselves. They look away or they look down. It doesn't matter what they're doing in front of the mirror either. They won't look at themselves. It's amazing how people view themselves physically. But the next time you're in front of a mirror, look non-judgmentally into the mirror and just notice, what do you see? Do you see how amazing, multidimensional, and extremely beautiful you truly are? Or do you see all of your flaws and shortcomings? Now, if we don't set the mind aside, we can only see and hear what it thinks is good and bad. The mind can be extremely judgmental, and this is pure entertainment for the ego. We truly despise being bored, so we cling to all sorts of opinions about right and wrong. And as long as we are over-identified with the attached opinions of good and bad, we cannot spiritually awaken. Just remember that All of life is a grand play, and the nature of the mind is to create contrasts and comparisons. See, the middle path that's where we end up, the middle path. And the mind, it does not like the middle path. Doesn't like the gray middle path. And when the mind is too empty, it seeks something juicy to fill it. Let go of filling up the mind. Find the spiritual being that you are. This is in silence and stillness within. This can be done through these meditations. Interestingly, the heart is not judgmental at all. Do not trust your mind. Trust your heart instead. Be free from the mind. Just remain in the heart. You will soon, in time, find the divine. Join the meditation. I'll return close sound.
Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still, relaxed into your body, focused on your breath rising and falling. Take some time every day to be solitary, still and silent. These are precious moments when you get to disappear and only your peaceful, infinite, loving presence remains. Welcome absolute silence into your body and mind right now. It's always found at the core of your innermost being. Certain negative events will always happen to you to cause you to take a glimpse at a bigger reality. Now, if you can look at them with eyes wide open, you'll always notice one thing. You actually created these challenging and frightening events to give you an experience of coming home. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, the following morning. We will return here tonight, May 2nd, after 9:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our reverse aging, health call, and all the rest. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times. No matter what's going on within you or outside of you. Open your heart and allow the magic to flow in.